Libertad, the Spanish word for freedom. In today's video, we're talking with Moses, an 8-year-old, and we're going to see where you get the most freedom and where, honestly, you can enjoy being a kid more, in the United States or here in Ecuador. What do you think, Moses? And good morning, and welcome to another beautiful day here in Ecuador. Today we're talking about Moses, who is 8 years old on a mountain bike trail right now and doing a fantastic job. But today we're talking about more than mountain bike trails. Today we're talking about school systems. We're talking about the quality of life, what kids eat if they go on the screen a lot, what they do instead of going on the screen, and just the overall quality of life here in Ecuador for an 8-year-old compared to living as an 8-year-old in the United States like I did. I grew up in the United States, lived there till I was like 28, and now I was in Chile for 7 years and now here in Ecuador for 4 years. What are the similarities? What are the differences? If you're a dad, if you're a mom, you have a kid, you're thinking about moving here or moving to the United States, what can you expect as a parent? And what can you expect as a kid? That's me. I love the United States. I grew up playing all these different sports, and I honestly would love to go back there, but I really do love Ecuador as well. If you love the United States, Ecuador, where you live, and just want to enjoy where you live and find the good where you live, like, subscribe, check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Gringo y Latino, and leave me a little comment. All right, back to the video. Look at me. Whew, nice riding, Mo. Let's talk about schools. So in the United States for schools, you don't have to wear a uniform. It's much more like informal, you would say. But here, Moses, what do you wear to school?
A uniform.
Yeah, and in Chile too, where he was before this, uniform. Most of Latin America is uniform, and many places in the United States do have uniforms, but it's typical that you go to a school and you just wear these clothes here. You could wear shorts even in the summertime, a t-shirt just like this, and it's much more informal. Also, Moses, you go to a private school. You don't have to say like what school you go to, but how do you like the private school here?
I like it good.
Anything else?
No.
In the United States, typically, the schools are going to be a public school. And you get into that public school because, well, you are in that district. Wherever your house is where your public school district is, and you go to that school district. Sometimes, if you live in a place where the school district isn't very good, you're in that school district that isn't good. But a lot of people choose their really expensive houses so that they can be in a nice school district, which is a huge perk. Here, typically, you're going to go to a private school. If you have a Gringo son or something like that, you're probably going to choose a private school. And the private schools are going to cost you around maybe $200 per month to go to that private school per kid. And Moses, do you think it's worth it? Yeah. He's very talkative today. I think the schools are a huge difference here in Ecuador compared to the United States. Let me know in the comments what you think about the schools here in Ecuador and the schools in the United States. I've had great experiences in both. I am a teacher, so it's near and dear to my heart. The education of Moses is a big deal to me. So Moses, what are you doing?
Reading.
Reading in English or in Spanish?
Spanish.
In Spanish? What are you reading?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Diary of Wimpy Kid in Spanish. How do you say that in Spanish?
Diario de
Diario de Greg. Muy bien. Okay, Moses, what do you think? Any other differences or similarities between anything of an 8-year-old in the United States compared to Ecuador?
I don't live in the United States, so I don't know.
Oh, you've never lived in the United States. That's true. Have you been there?
Yeah.
But you've never lived there. Huh. Well, I have. So let's keep talking. Let's see what ChatGPT says is a difference between a child of 8 years old in the United States and here in Ecuador. This is what it says. There can be noticeable differences between an 8-year-old in Ecuador and one in the United States, but it's important not to treat them as universal. Kids' experiences vary a lot depending on family, region, income in both countries. That said, here are some common patterns. Back to my refrigerator. If you are liking this video, make sure you like and subscribe. But also, if you're coming to another country, whatever country that is, or going to multiple countries, check out my link right below for Olafly. This is a way that you can be connected on your cell phone wherever you are, no matter what time you land at night. You don't have to go through a line and get an actual SIM card. You can actually just go right online. You can download that eSIM card on your phone. You can have multiple eSIM cards, and you can travel and land where you're going and just be connected to the internet and call people and let them know that you are safe. Check out the link right below, and now look at me again. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I don't know why my parents didn't want this on their fridge. They gave it away very willingly, but here it is. Oh my goodness. School experience. In Ecuador, public schools may have larger class sizes and fewer resources, books, technology, especially in rural areas. In the US, schools generally have more access to technology, computers, tablets, and extracurricular activities, sports, clubs, though quality still varies by district. Daily responsibilities. It says in Ecuador, the kids typically are going to have more household chores or family work. And in the US, kids also have chores, but they're less likely to contribute to family income at that age. Access to technology. US children are most likely to use personal devices and have them. And in Ecuador, access is growing quickly, but it can still be limited depending on the household. Would you agree with these first 3 things that are similarities or differences between Ecuador and the United States if you're an 8-year-old? I think it's interesting what ChatGPT puts together. I don't know if I would agree with all of this, but it is really interesting. From my personal experience, I think that as an 8-year-old, I was playing so many sports. I did play soccer, but I also played softball, baseball. I would go and play with my friends. There was a baseball place to play in the summertime. In the winter, I would play basketball. Here, there's really no winter, so you can just keep playing all year round. There's a rainy season and a sunny season, but it's not a snow season where you're just going to die if you go outside. But here, honestly, you could play the same sport all year, and Moses does that. He's playing soccer all year round. He's been doing it for 4 years and loves it. I also think, as a parent, a big difference from my perspective would be the healthcare. It's so interesting that for Moses' doctor, we have her WhatsApp. And we just WhatsApp his doctor. If he's not feeling good, you don't have to go straight into the doctor and kind of waste her time, but you get a text and she says, okay, go to the pharmacy, go grab this medicine. If he's not feeling better by tomorrow at this time, bring him in. That's amazing. In the United States, you have to go into the doctor for any prescription. You can't just go to the pharmacy and grab anything. Here, you can almost grab anything that you really need at the pharmacy, and it's not going to cost you very much. Also, I was talking to somebody at the bike park, and they said somebody had a huge crash. They broke some things. They were doing huge jumps, nothing that I do or Moses does, and I probably will ever do. But had a huge fall, had to go to the ER and broke something, and an ER visit, like a just normal ER visit here, is about $100. And then you get your things done, you have different things happen. It might be a couple $100 for the entire visit to the ER. And in the United States, it's a minimum $1,000. $1,000! It's crazy how much it costs to go for a hospital visit when something bad happens to you, or when something not that bad, just a routine checkup, can cost you a lot of money. Then, of course, you need insurance, which costs you quite a bit in the United States. It can cost you around $1,500 per person. And you might have a really, basic plan, and it might cost you $1,500 a month for a family of 4 if it's very basic, but then you're going to be paying a lot more when you go to the doctor. And here, for a nice premium plan, you can pay about $53 US per month. And like I said, you can just go to the hospital and it'll probably cover you for almost anything. And honestly, that's what we love about here. And that's what is the hard thing about us going back to the United States. The costs are, I know that they're very expensive here, but compared to the United States, you're just working all the time. You have to work, 6 days a week to make ends meet. Here, you can have more family time. There's time with your family in a park, or like I was just with Moses and we were in a bike park hanging out, and for $10, you can enjoy a bike park all day. You can have a snack there, and that'll cost you another $6 or so for a burger. And honestly, it's not a big stress for me to go and have fun with Moses. Then we can go play Skippo at home and things like that. It's beautiful with the doors open, the windows open all year round. I think that's a huge difference from what I grew up with, which I honestly love that Moses can get some of that. Going to play in the snow and making forts in the snow, that's something that I loved as a kid. And I love that Moses is able to experience at least a little bit of that when we're able to go back in the winter every couple of years, because that's just a special thing about living in the United States for me. Now, if you grew up in Florida or in the South, you don't get that quite as much. But where I grew up, I got a lot of snow. And I'm okay with not having it, but for a kid, I think it's a fun experience to experience snow and snow sports and going skiing and snowboarding and sledding and all of that kind of stuff. So honestly, as a kid, I'm thinking back in the United States, I think the biggest thing for me was probably school that we touched on, and just wearing whatever you want to school. And honestly, it's just a much more relaxed feeling at the schools. And also they go only until the end of May, maybe the very beginning of June. Whereas here in Ecuador, at least in the highlands and on the coast, it's different. They have the opposite schedule, but we go until the end of June here in the Quito area. So you have 2 months off instead of about 3 months off in the United States, which I personally enjoy the Ecuador one, because I think the more that you can keep this kid in school and then enjoy some days of freedom during the school year and give them a break during the school year, I kind of like that. But it's definitely something that when I talk to another person from the United States and they come here and they go to the schools, they're like, oh man, the schedule is so weird. Why don't they get done at the middle of May? And well, I don't know what to tell you. You're in another country. And I think the sports too is a big thing. I grew up playing American football. I loved that. I loved watching it. I loved going to games. My family had season tickets to the Green Bay Packers. That's why you see Moses with a Packers hat on, if you've seen that in other videos before. But I honestly really, really love that. And I love the United States. And I also love Ecuador. I love these two countries a lot. And we were in Chile before this, and I love Chile so much as well. The marraqueta, the delicious foods, the mountains, and especially the people. You don't see it here on the video because I don't want to just throw out a camera and have somebody on screen when I'm doing something. Unless you saw the Fanesca one, then you can kind of see like a little bit of what our real life is of meeting the people from each country. I love that. And that's why I love the United States too. My whole family is there. How could I not love the United States? My grandpa fought in World War II in the Navy on a destroyer, and I got to go see those destroyers with him while he was still alive. And honestly, I really do love the United States. And I don't know if I'll live here forever in Ecuador, but we bought a house and we love it here. And honestly, you just never know where life is going to take you. So if you have an 8-year-old or a kid and you're thinking of moving here to Ecuador, or if you're here in Ecuador thinking about going to the United States, just be positive as a parent. That's my biggest advice for you. Because if you as a parent are positive and happy, and then your kid is going to be positive and happy as well. You are going to guide your family. If you're the dad or the mom, you need to guide your family in positive things and make sure that you have time for them and enjoy. For us, we sit down and read some Bible verses or a devotion together and just talk about life. We talk about our highs and lows. And when you move to another country, I think your highs might be something really simple and your lows might be a bunch of things because you're in a huge transition, and that's okay. It's okay to struggle. Because I think when you struggle, you come out a better person in the end. Or at least you learn a whole lot about yourself and your family, and hopefully you grow together when you do that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Have you moved to another country before? Have you done it with a family? Can you relate to me with just being positive, and what you as a parent transmit to your kid is exactly how your kid is going to react. I think that's true for our family, and I've definitely heard that from other families as well. You as a parent can have definitely a lot of doubts about bringing an 8-year-old or your kid here to Ecuador or to the United States. But be positive as a parent and lead them. So I hope that you enjoyed these thoughts and these ideas from me and a little bit of Moses. I was hoping to have a lot more of Moses, but honestly, he grew up in Chile and now is here in Ecuador, and he's only gone to the United States to visit a few times. So his thoughts are well, this is normal for him. He's almost like a Latino instead of a Gringo. And he does not like it when people say that he is a Gringo, because he looks Gringo, he talks perfect English like a Gringo, because he learns that from us. But he doesn't know the entire United States, and he's never lived there before. He loves it. He wants to live there because Grandma and Grandpa are there and because Walmart is there. But he also loves Latin America, and this is home for us, and this is home for him. So I hope that you enjoyed this video for today. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Gringo y Latino, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following this journey and listening to my thoughts, and I hope you can relate to some of them. And well, sometimes you can listen to ChatGPT, and sometimes it's just worthless. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys next time. But for now, ciao.